Hey guys, what's going on? Daily Tactics here, and today I am back with another episode of the Clone Wars Recreated series, a series where we go back, revisit episodes of the Clone Wars, and recreate their battles in the Men of War Assault Squad 2 editor. Now, today we find ourselves on Orto Plutonia, which is a snow moon, where you might remember the Talz, who were a very primitive species, took on the 501st Clone Trooper Legion, as well as the battle droids. Now, there were clones and droids present on this moon at the time, and the Talz basically went through and destroyed both of their bases. So, since the Talz aren't in the mod, I wasn't able to recreate the battle against the Talz. However, I thought it'd be cool if we did like a prequel to that episode. So this is the droid base over here, this huge droid military complex, and these are the 501st clone troopers who are stationed there. So essentially, the clones discovered this hidden droid base within the mountains, and they decided to launch an attack on them. And then later, Captain Rex, Anakin, Obi-Wan, all of them come in to deal with the Talz later on. So regardless, the clone troopers are going to be attacking this droid base here on Orto Plutonia. They've got bark speeders just like in the episode. They've got three TX-130Ss and a ton of 501st snow troopers, which are pretty sweet looking. Gotta dig their uniforms. I mean, come on, those guys look great. And they pretty much completely surround this military base here. They're coming in and attacking at all sides, but the droids are ready for them. The droids have defenses lined up all across the outside walls. They've got AT guns lined up as well. The outside defenses are pretty strong, and the interior defenses are equally as strong. They've got a lot of choke points here, a lot of bridges that they're going to be able to defend from. This will certainly be a doozy of a battle for the battle droids and the clones alike, because the clones are bringing the heat and the droids are bringing the strategy for once with this military base. So without further ado, guys, I will be right back and we can get this battle started. Alrighty then, you bad Larrys, let's get this shindig going. Pressing start right now, and the clone bark speeders zoom on ahead. TX-130S is in hot pursuit behind, and the clone infantry coming in, strolling up behind them. Bark speeders already engaging with the enemy. They are recon units, so they are very fast. They can get to the front lines extremely quickly, and they're already taking fire from the AT guns behind. Wow, first volley taking out a drove of those speeder bikes. I mean, it's lucky that the first volley from the droids didn't hit any of these TX-130Ss, because these vehicles are far more valuable than the bark speeders. However, all of these vehicles are actually not that useful during this battle. Yes, on the outside defenses, they are quite effective, as we can see right here. It's going to be a challenge to take out all of these AT guns, though they're doing their best. But once the clones make it past this outside barricade, they can't bring the vehicles into these areas. They're going to be all infantry. So really, clones need to make the best use out of their vehicles that they currently can, while they're still a viable weapon to use, and it looks like they are doing that, as they've destroyed most of these AT guns and a lot of the droids. Oh, this AT gun actually got recrewed, and the droid takes an absolute killer pot shot right there, taking out tons of 501st clone troopers. That is a real rough pill to swallow for the clone legions right here. But the clones coming up over these snow drifts, very powerful force, looking good, looking fresh to death in their snow trooper armor. I love the clone snowtrooper armor. It's like the stormtrooper snowtrooper armor, but a little bit more sleek, you know? I think it's a better design. Although I do like the snowtrooper armor. Absolute classic. I mean, when I first saw those in Empire Strikes Back, I was blown away. That was a long time ago. In my youths. I'm still in my youths, I suppose. Alright, these droids over here are actually doing very well. They've still got an AT gun, and they've still got a lot of infantry to their name currently, though they are combating a TX-130S out here, which does seem to be trying to hit this AT gun, the last remaining one from the looks of it, but it is failing. Oh, it's zooming around, taking a different approach. This AT gun up here finally did get taken out, but not before those things did some serious damage to a lot of this clone infantry. and the clone infantry still has a ways to go. Oh, there's also this position over here, this little garage area, which the snow speeders seem to have taken a pretty nice chunk of the defenses there out. Ooh, Lord Gonk. He has blessed this battlefield. That must mean the clones are going to win. We got Lord Gonk on our sides, boys. So this little side garage area could be a decisive part of the battlefield, because if the clones could get in there and flank around the back, that'd be pretty sweet. And that would definitely help out their cause quite a bit. Ooh, TX-130S rolled up to the very top of this hill here, took an amazing pot shot at these droids, took a whole lot of them out, but then finally did end up going down. If that thing had stayed alive a little bit longer, the droids could have really been hurt. Sadly, it only got one shot off, but even that one shot cleared up pretty much this entire upper area here and allowed these clones to take this area. This AT gun's still kicking, but it doesn't really have an angle on these clone units, so I don't see it doing too much. But all this infantry alive over here, the clones are going to eventually have to deal with it, and they don't have that tank support anymore. So it does seem like they're kind of moving in on these guys, but they don't quite have very good angles. They're trying to like mountain climb around these rocks, but they're getting killed. At least the rocks have some cover. Actually looks kind of cool how they're all on the rocks and things like that. Well, all these guys are dead. I do like some rock climbing battles. Those are pretty neat. Alright, clones breaking through the top area up here, taking out a good amount of droids, taking some losses themselves, but this wasn't as big of a choke point as I thought it would end up being. I thought a lot more clones would die over here, but maybe that TX-130S actually helped them out a little bit. Droids down on the bottom platform, having to shoot up now, so it seems like the clones have actually taken the advantageous position by being up here. That's pretty impressive. My dog just sneezed in the background. She's actually... I have a red duffel bag that I use to carry clothes to and from places, and she's snuggled up inside it. That's her nest now, since it's been on the floor there. It's kind of adorable. Alright. Snowtroopers, still taking some losses up on these hillsides, but they've cleared out most of these droids over here. Also, it seems like... oh, actually, the garage has not been taken yet, so the clones are still going to have to deal with this garage area over here. That's kind of surprising. I thought they would have launched a bit of an attack over there, but it seems like most of these clones are just hugging this wall. Alright, fair enough. Oh, look over here. This little entranceway that dips down into this defensive position. The clones are trying to take it on, but instead they're losing a lot of men to this droid infantry. Wow, okay. So these guys in the middle are sort of rushing ahead of themselves, ahead of the entire rest of the clone army. And if these guys don't slow down a little bit, they're not going to have reinforcements for a very long time. They need to slow down, take the outside defenses before they continue into the middle, I would say. But, you know, I guess they're just gunning ahead. Perhaps some sort of cocky or ambitious captain is leading these troopers over here and doesn't want to slow down, doesn't want to support the flanking units or something like that. Because this does leave the clone flank pretty susceptible. Well, a couple clones rounding around to the front while these guys attack from the back. Not a bad little pincer movement. They don't really have the troopers to sustain that, though. Also, a few clones left alive on these hills up here. Looks like most of this squad got peppered by some anti-tank rounds. This anti-tank gun did end up falling, so that's a big bonus for the clones, but might have been a little too late. Oh, a couple clones actually climbing on the walls of the fortress. That's impressive. Alright, so everything seems to have halted just for the clones to try and take this position. Seems like finally these guys decided to stop for the most part. They're up keeping a little bit of fire with the back of the base over here for the droids, actually. But overall, they've decided to wait for their forces out here to clear the area, which doesn't really seem to be happening. I know I said we were going to be doing those historical victories or losses that coincide with the TV show, but considering that this is, you know, a fictitious prelude to the episode, I guess it really doesn't matter who wins or loses, so I won't be interfering in this battle in accordance to that. Also, with a few of the episodes, I've not been able to actually get the historical victory or loss due to the circumstances of the battle. Like the bomb squad one, I wasn't able to, so that rule hasn't actually been all that applicable lately. It's kind of an obsolete rule, I suppose, at the moment. Maybe it'll bring itself back. Okay, these clones are finally clearing up this area. though they took a lot of losses in the process, so this could seriously hurt their chances of an actual victory during this battle. I mean, seriously, look. That's a lot of losses. Red are the dead clones right here. That is a lot of losses, actually. It's a ton. If you look at the mini-map right now, blue are the battle droids left alive, red are the clones. Clones still outnumber the droids, maybe 2 to 1, but the droids have choke points on their sides, and we all know how choke points tend to go in these battles. So these clones look like they might start attacking the interior over here. We got some sort of barracks for the droids. Probably the droids don't use them. Probably any, you know, scientists or whomever, generals, just regular people who do reside in this base. Besides battle droids, they probably utilize this as a sleeping chamber. Alright, main assault over here, though, is back underway. We got clones continuing back onto these rocks, going down the stairs here, making some real progress. They're actually attacking the back hangar here for the droids a little bit, taking out a couple of them early on, but there's still plenty here for this back final defense of the droid lines. We'll see how that ends up going. Also, a bunch ended up on these top areas here. I wonder if they were instrumental in taking out these back areas, but these guys are actually now able to shoot down into the choke points. That's huge, because these two droids could have potentially held this door area for a very long time, but now that they're dead, that's big. Now clones can just sort of stream into this area and only have to take care of 1, 2 droids. That's impressive. If these droids aren't careful and those clones get up to them, that could be really bad for their choke point too. These choke points aren't turning out too well for the droids. Also, these guys in here too. Oh, they already got to 2 of these guys. Look at that. And they're grenading these guys here. Oh, pro strats from the clones right now. Some of the most effective droid positions are currently being compromised by these mountaineers. Uh-oh. Yeah. They don't really have an angle on these chaps here, so these guys are still able to hold the bridge for a little bit, but they are getting grenaded from the top, which is resulting in some losses and disruption in the battle. Crazy. Looks like the garage finally did end up getting taken here. It only took a long part of the battle to take it, but the clones did it. Alright. Fair enough. Sometimes you gotta take your time. Clone taking a brief moment to heal up. Smart man. Always promote good health in battles. Yeah, these droids choosing to go suppressed now. They've lost their confidence. Popping up every so often just to get a few shots off, but not really amounting to much. Still grenaded from the mountain area. That's so bad. That's really rough. These droids in here skirmishing a little bit with the garage boys. I honestly think these clones coming up here and getting such effective kills could win the clones this thing, because before I really thought the droids might still win this given the choke points they were holding, but the clones have completely negated those choke points with what we've seen from those mountaineers. These guys deserve a promotion, straight up. Very effective job. Very much so. Alright, and of course the standard clones on the ground here are doing a spectacular job of clearing room to room for the mountaineer clones that aren't able to, you know, hit these droids. So, you know, they're batting cleanup here, I suppose. And still doing a pretty swell job of it. Droid positions are withering now. Oh, looks like this droid finally fell, but not before getting a nice little kill there. One more droid over there that the clones are going to have to deal with. I was actually kind of looking forward to seeing, like, this choke point, like, fight it out against the clones, so I'm gonna be real, Chief. I'm slightly disappointed that these clones climbed onto the top of the base here. I really wish they hadn't, because I would have liked to see that. Would have liked to see that battle play out. Clones edging their way towards these droids over here. 2 left in this base. This droid here has vanished. I don't know where he went, but I presume he is dead. Might have gotten that kill on that clone, though. Alright, these clones coming through here. The droids actually don't notice them. Both of them get shot down. Clone grenade. I just hold up a second there, boys. There you go. Now you can walk on through. Now the clones attacking this hangar bay area. We've had this glitch with this map before, where the final battle never occurs. The clones and droids don't fight each other, so we're just going to spark the battle there. Alright. The final defense of the droids is underway here. Not many of them left alive. Those that are alive getting picked off rather rapidly, and they're not really getting much in terms of clone kills here. Yeah. And that droid goes down, so are there any droids left alive? No. That's it. Clones lucked out here, or skilled out. Maybe it was all part of the plan and I just didn't know. Either way, let's check out the losses. So red are dead clones, yellow are dead droids. So, I mean, back here, the clones took a lot of losses. Those AT guns were devastating. If they'd stayed alive a little bit longer, I think we would have seen droves of clone deaths. But instead, it was just medium-sized, I'd say. Still pretty effective, though. Closer to here, the very outskirts, we saw a lot of death around here. This was pretty good, and especially right here, this was a nice hold by the droids, and over here, too. Droids inevitably collapsed in those positions, though. Up here, I expected this choke point to be a lot more worthwhile for the droids. I thought a lot of clones would die here, but only a small amount did, which was somewhat surprising. The garage area was kind of a disaster for the speeder clones. They took a lot of losses here. This whole area here, I feel like if those Mountaineer clones hadn't killed these guys here, and these guys in the buildings, and these guys over here, we would have seen so many more losses around these areas. And it would have been a lot more interesting, I think, so I'm kind of pissed at these guys. I wish they hadn't climbed up there, but oh well, c'est la vie. And the final hangar bay area, actually, only 2 clones died. So, clones came out of this with a lot of troopers left. This was a very effective battle for them. Of course, all of these clones will be dying to the, what are they called again? The Talz. You know, the ancient civilization that lives on the moon. They'll be dying off to them pretty soon, so these pesky mountaineers will get their comeuppance. Either way, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know if you want me to continue the Clone Wars recreated battles, because I would love to, and I hope you guys are still enjoying them. And I will see you all in the next battle. Peace. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Be sure to click that subscribe button for more content, and hit the notification bell if you'd like to be alerted to whenever I live stream or upload. Thanks so much.